All right, folks. So the Biden news isn't a surprise to my next guest, really. I mean, he's been interpreting the messages from the betting markets for us for the last few weeks. I'm curious, though, now to see if there's any betting or what the betting is shaping up to be between a Trump-Harris matchup. Let's bring in Bianco Research President Jim Bianco. Jim, has there been an initial reaction in the betting markets to Biden dropping out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, on two levels. The first level is the Democrat nomination market has already gone up to 89, 90% that it's going to be Harris. So at least from the bettor's perspective, it looks like it's a done deal that she's going to replace Biden. And whether or not there's going to be other candidates, the rest of them are running in the low single digits for at least for right now. As far as the presidential election market to win, I'll express it this way. Trump was trading 65, 66 before the dropout announcement, and now he's trading around 60, 61. So he's still the favorite. It's 60-40. It literally is 60-40 that Trump wins over Harris. So he's weakened a little bit, but he's still well above that, 50% line that says that he's the favorite. So it looks like, it's made it a little tougher for Trump, but it hasn't made it so much tougher that we don't question whether or not he's the favorite, at least according to the bettors.
So, Jim, on that note, I saw that you tweeted a lot about the sort of the diverging ideas of the so-called Trump trade. Some are dismissing it, Bloomberg saying it's the real thing. I think another part of it is really what intrigues me is that it does mean different things to different people. I read somewhere where someone said the financials are the best proxy for a Trump trade. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a war-shot test. It depends on where you sit. But what I've argued is, and continue to, if you're going to ask what's the Trump trade or what's the impact of the election on the stock market, the S&P 500, or 10-year yields, or the dollar index, or say Bitcoin, I don't see one. I don't see one at that level because I don't think either Trump or, let's say, the Democrat, probably Harris, it doesn't matter because it all depends on whether or not there's a red wave or a divided Congress. And, so there's a lot of other issues that go into that. And either way, we're still going to have a large deficit. And we're still going to have huge government spending, at least initially. And that's why I don't think it's there. Now, you start drilling down to some of the industries and some of the individual stocks. Obviously, Trump media, DJT would be one that he trades like a meme stock to the election. There are plays down there in terms of the Trump trade. But what I was referring to there was this idea that the S&P will go up or down or the interest rates will go up or down based on what's happened this weekend with the election. It's actually more of a Powell trade. And it continues to be more of a pivot to a cut trade is where those overall markets are right now.
So with that in mind, and thinking about all the things that have happened, let's say in the last 10 years, this attempted assassination on President Trump, the sort of shift on Wall Street from the Fed cutting once to cutting 3 times, of course, Biden dropping out. And there have been so many things, and the markets seem, at least these big winners for a while, you can see money coming out of them. Some went into small caps, but you got to believe that the big players have put it on pause. Do you think today is a sign that they're ready to get back in? And of course, getting back in means going back to the old comfort zone of big tech.
Yeah, you said 10 years. It's been 10 days, although it does feel like 10 years with all this news. but to your point, the rotation to small caps started right after the CPI number in the 11th, and that rotation by some metrics is the largest ever we've seen, and data goes back 50 years, in terms of the outperformance of the Russell 2000 to the 1000. So there's been dramatic movements in this market. Now, I suspect that the rotation to small caps severely overbought right now, which means that there's going to be a correction back to larger cap and that they'll start outperforming. And that's exactly what we've seen today, is that you're starting to see that movement back. But it really does go to a groupthink on the market. Oh, that's it. The low CPI, Fed's going to cut. Let's all get into the small cap stocks. The only problem with it is every single investor on Wall Street got the same idea at the same time. And that's why you had such a dramatic move in that direction.
Mind-boggling stuff. Jim, good catch. Talk to you again soon, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So